Welcome to episode 95 of the Alcohol Addiction Podcast, the show designed to expose the truth behind alcoholism and to help raise awareness and therefore help you quit this dreaded drug. There is no guest this week. Why is that? Partly because I'm just finding it difficult, if I'm being honest, looking after a 16-year-old, an 8-month-year-old, trying to be a husband, trying to earn money to pay the bills, and continue to grow this side of my life. It's no secret that I want this to be my full-time occupation. I find extreme love in it. I feel very happy when I'm embedded in it, but at the moment that is not possible because we all need money to pay the bills, and we all get under those pressures from time to time. And I guess I want to start out by saying, if you are someone who's just quit alcohol and you have all this white space in front of you and you've just starting to fill it by creating your own blog and really selling your message out there about how great life is without alcohol, don't ever give up. Don't ever think to yourself, wow, this is never going to work. I'm never going to be able to monetize what I'm doing. I'm never going to be able to do this full time. And within the sobriety industry, more than any other industry that I've ever encountered, money is like such a taboo subject. And I think it stems from AA, right? So if you are aligned with the AA philosophy, all the meetings are free of charge. You don't have to pay for it. Your mentorship in form of a sponsor is free of charge. So everything is kind of free in the AA side of things. And I guess when someone like me comes up and says, yeah, I'll help you quit alcohol, but I'm wanting to charge you for it, I think it rubs people up the wrong way. But when you think about it, how else is somebody going to be able to dedicate their life full time to this pursuit? It's going to be really, really difficult. And if you think that people like myself and other people in the industry who are really trying to change people's lives, then I think it's important that we all help those people to be able to work full time at this thing that we're doing, so we can make a bigger change in the world. We can also help you more as well, because we can get guests on the podcast instead of me waffling on, and and we can improve on the software and training courses and that kind of thing. So please try to put your pessimistic views about money and sobriety to one side. I think the only thing that matters is you find someone you trust. And if that isn't me, then find somebody else that you trust. And once you trust somebody, the money is really immaterial, right? You will find the money if you really, really want to change your life. And yeah, I think that's really important. We do have some guests coming up in the future, though. We have Holly Whitaker from the Home Podcast and the Hip Sobriety Community Forum. So it'd be good to speak to Holly. Holly's going to be on here in a couple of weeks' time. And also Rachel Pontillo is going to be on here. Rachel was a guest on Lucas Rockwood's The Yoga Talk Show, and I heard her talk about skin. She's a skincare specialist, and we all know that drinking a lot of alcohol really ages your skin, right? I mean, one of the first things that I did when I quit drinking alcohol was start to look younger. Look, how old do you think I am? You probably know, right? Well, I'm in my 40s, and a lot of people say that I don't look in my 40s, but I certainly look younger than I did when I drank alcohol. So we're going to get Rachel Pontillo on the show to talk about that. So that'd be really important. What are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to be talking about a brand transition. So I'm currently working in a marketing seminar with Seth Godin. Here you are, talk about money. So Seth Godin, if you don't know who Seth Godin is, he's the author of books like The Purple Cow, Tribes, The Linchpin. He's like a marketing guru, right? And I was thinking for a long time that the needy helper maybe wasn't the way to go forward. And it was during my interview with Laura Silverman, actually, when Laura gave me some feedback and said, you know what, I really nearly didn't come on your podcast because I hated the word needy helper. It feels so weak. And I don't want to feel weak. Like, I want to feel strong. And she said, I bet a lot of people get turned off your brand as a result of that. I don't want people to get turned off of my brand. So I started to see what was out there. Now, Seth Godin's marketing seminar course was $500 there, give or take, right? Maybe $550 with tax, something like that. I don't have $550 to pay for a marketing seminar. I really don't have it, but I know that it will be money well spent. My experience with taking training courses like this, I know that the $550 that I spend to increase my awareness and understanding of marketing and branding will reap rewards in the future 100 times over. In that instance, I have to find the money. So in this case, I borrowed it out of my tax account, and I now know that I need to pay it back when I create my online training courses and start earning some revenue from what I've learned from Seth Godin. And it's the same if I create an online training course and you want to take part in it, but you don't have the money. I urge you to find the money, because it's really important that you change your life, and money shouldn't be a showstopper. It really shouldn't be a showstopper. So I'm doing this marketing course from Seth Godin. Why am I doing that? Well, if my purpose in life is to expose the truth behind alcoholism to as many people as I can, okay? So as many people as I can, ideally would be 7.3 billion people. I mean, that's a bit of a reach, but you know, that would be the overarching theme, that would be the greatest goal of mine. Then it makes sense for me to improve my marketing and branding awareness so I can expose myself and my belief system and my products to as many people as I can, so I can help reveal the truth to more people, help them quit alcohol, and then with their help as role models, raise more awareness around the world. So people turn around and say, holy shit, you've made a huge change in your life, Frank. How did you do that? Well, I met this guy, Lee, over at The Truth About Alcohol, and he had this wonderful podcast. He had this wonderful forum and this great training course, and he helped me quit alcohol, and he helped me find a community of like-minded people, and I've never felt better. Oh, wow, Frank, great. Point me in his direction, because I want to change, because I've got a problem with alcohol as well. A very simplistic way of looking at things, but that's what we're talking about here. So a marketing course is really important. So while I was on this course, I knew I had Laura Silverman poking away in the back of my head saying that the Needy Helper wasn't a really good name. So I know I needed to change it. So where does the Needy Helper name come from? Well, when I gave up drinking in 2009, and I decided that I was going to create a blog where I was going to write about it and help other people quit, because it's a very powerful thing, knowing how to quit alcohol and looking around you and seeing so many people's lives being ruined by it. I wanted to change the world. I wanted to help so many people. And I was so ill prepared. I was like a battering ram. I was like really getting in people's faces. I was a real pain in the ass. But I remember being in a kitchen, brainstorming names, right? And my father-in-law at the time asked me what I was doing. I told him. And he said, well, isn't it all about like what people are going to search for on the internet? And I'm like, yeah, okay. What will people search for when they've got an alcohol problem? And we wrote all these names on a board, and two of the names were need help. I need help with my alcohol problem. And that is how the Needy Helper was born. My idiotic 35-year-old brainless self thinking that was SEO strategy. So the Needy Helper was born out of that. No great, wonderful marketing, branding strategy or anything like that. And we just became the Needy Helper. And I remember at the time, I wanted to create, the Needy Helper was going to be my hub. And they had these spokes that were going to go off to different books and different topics. And they were like the needy gambler, the needy smoker, the needy father, the needy porn addict, all these different things. And that was my vision. I remember having this big, huge notice board with this Needy Helper in the middle and all these different spokes going out. And that's what I wanted to do. It's been a long time since I've been doing that now. And I started off by writing a lot, and then the podcast came along and I started doing a podcast. And as the podcast grew in popularity, I stopped writing as much. I'm going to return to writing now. And if I'm being honest with you, since Liza got pregnant and stopped working, I've found it really, really difficult to make ends meet, find the time, and I've had to take on more and more writing articles, and therefore more of my focus has disappeared off the Needy Helper, but we're hoping to get that back. So how do you go about redefining yourself as a brand? Well, I'm just going to spew it out in no kind of coherent order, right? But I was doing this Seth Godin training course, and he was talking about positioning, all right? And he was explaining how if everybody in a particular market is offering the same kind of stuff, then in general, the person with the lowest price wins. But it's not a market that you want to be in because it's going to be too overcrowded. And we did a bit of work where we did two axes, a north-south axis and an east-west axis. And we would have picked two things that were concepts that were important to the market we were in. Draw these on an A3 board and then see where my competition was, right? So on my north-south axis, I wrote, is alcoholism a brain disease? And on the south, I wrote, is alcoholism not a brain disease? And on the east-west axis, I wrote, do you want to moderate or do you want to quit? So it was, is it a brain disease or is it not a brain disease? Do you want to moderate or do you want to quit? And I looked at Hello Sunday Morning. So Hello Sunday Morning is a forum that helps people quit alcohol. And it has, I don't know, something insane like 500,000 members. So if I'm competing in the same area as Hello Sunday Morning, I'm going to be in trouble, right? Because if anyone knows anything about Hello Sunday Morning, they've just had a huge grant off Google. I can't remember how much money it was, but it was enormous. It might have been even 7 figures. They have an app. They have a beautiful website. It's all perfectly tailored. I can't compete with that, right? And Hello Sunday Morning believe, as I do, that alcohol is not a brain disease. Where I could differ from Hello Sunday Morning is Hello Sunday Morning welcomes people who want to moderate, who just want to reduce their intake of alcohol. They are not bothered about just helping people quit. In fact, if you look at their website, it is more geared up to helping people reduce their intake than it is helping people quit. Another competitor, if you want to call it a competitor, is Soberistas. Soberistas has something like 325,000 members of the forum over at Soberistas. And I used to be a member of Soberistas before they banned me. Yes, they banned me for spamming them, directing people to my podcast and saying, hey, this podcast can help you because you're really struggling, and they banned me. One of the reasons they banned me as well was I got into this really big argument on there because someone was really having a go at somebody because they wanted to moderate. And they would say, no, the only way here is like complete and utter abstention, right? And I was like, well, you shouldn't really be picking on this person for this. And I got thrown off the forum for that. But Soberistas, to me, because of that conversation was going, my experience was there are some people there who want to quit, and there are some people there who want to moderate. It was also my experience there that there were some people who believed that alcohol was a brain disease, and there were some people who didn't believe it was a brain disease. So it was a kind of mixed match over at Soberistas. So when I looked at Soberistas and Hello Sunday Morning, I thought, where can needy helper be in that kind of like axis, and that, you know, I've got 4 quadrants, where could we be? It was quite obvious to me that the space that I could help people was to say to people, look, if you have a problem believing that alcohol is a brain disease and you want to quit permanently, I can help you, okay? And that means if people come to me and they think alcohol is a brain disease and they want to moderate, then I will be telling them that unless they're willing to change their worldview, I am going to suggest they go to Soberistas, because I think it's really important that people at the beginning of this journey get the right support they need. And as part of that support is a like-minded community, a like-minded message. And if you are with the needy helper and you're talking about alcohol being a brain disease and you think your children are going to inherit your brain disease, and I'm writing and talking that this brain disease notion is a load of nonsense, that's not going to sit very well with you and you're going to be confused. So I would say go to Soberistas. If you believe that alcohol was a brain disease and you wanted to quit permanently, then I would say go to Alcoholics Anonymous. If you said you wanted to moderate, but you didn't want it, but you didn't think it was a brain disease, then I would say go to Hello Sunday Morning. But if you think it is not a brain disease and you want to quit permanently, then we can do something about it. Okay. So I came up with the tagline, we are not alcoholics and we refuse to be anonymous. Okay. And that's because my belief system, which I'm going to talk about on alcoholism, is very different to what most of the world believe it to be. I don't believe that we are alcoholics at all. And I don't want us to be anonymous, because I believe that our drive to be anonymous and or fake in our life takes so much energy as it is, that battling alcohol at the same time is just a war you're not going to win. Okay. We need to start embracing who we are at the very essence of our being, way before alcohol came along and screwed that up. Right. So I wanted to celebrate our sobriety. Otherwise, how can we raise awareness? Right. So to me, it's going to be, we are not alcoholics and we refuse to be anonymous. So I want people to come over to our forum and to be who they are and to celebrate who they are, right? So that's where we are. So if you are a listener to the Alcohol Addiction Podcast, and you have been for a long time, and you're a member of the forum, or you read my blogs or whatever, then you need to know from this point forward, my message is going to be very consistent in my belief that alcohol is not a brain disease, okay? And that I believe that I want to help people who quit. So if you are comfortable with that, so if you're someone who thinks that alcohol is a brain disease, but you really like these podcasts, then keep listening. Don't not listen. I'm just telling you that somewhere along the line, belief systems are going to clash and it might really piss you off. So I'm just warning you about that, because believe you me, repetition is the key to quitting alcohol. I'm going to be talking about the same things on and on and on and on. Okay. So so now I kind of know where I'm going to position myself in the market. Okay. What I need to know now is what is the name like, because, needy helper doesn't really inspire strength. And I struggled with this for a very, very long time. I really didn't know where I was going to be. And it goes back to a book that I read by Melanie Joy, who's a vegan advocate, called, I'm going to screw this up now, Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs, and Wear Cows. Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs, and Wear Cows. I didn't screw that up. It's one of the greatest books I've ever read. Now, I'm a vegan, full disclosure. What I'm about to talk about right now has nothing to do with veganism. I don't give a shit if you're eating meat right now. It doesn't bother me. This is not my point. So please do not turn off the podcast, because I'm just about to start talking about veganism. Melanie Joy, at one point in her life, was sat at a kitchen table stroking her dog, who she loved with impunity. And at the same time, she's eating a piece of chicken. And she looks at the dog and she says, how is it that I can love this animal so much, and yet I can eat this animal and not even think about it and not even care and have no emotion? What would happen if I ate my dog? There would be a strong emotional issue. Why? She went on a journey when she was older, because she wasn't a kid no more. She went on a journey to figure out why we feel that it is perfectly okay to have dogs as pets, but to eat so much animal meat. And this is what she came up with. She came up with the fact, I'm saying it's a fact because I believe it, is that meat eating is a invisible, violent, and dominant belief system. And she coined that belief system carnism. Carn as in meat, and ism as in the suffix that represents an ideology. We have an ideology around eating meat. What that means is, and why it's invisible, is when we grew up, unless you lived in a vegan or a vegetarian household, there wasn't a choice to eat meat. You just ate it, whatever your mum put in front of you on your plate. There was never a question of whether or not where this meat came from, or whether it was ethical to eat it or not. So upstairs in my bedroom right now, I've got a little book that I read my 8-month-old daughter about lambs. Well, I think it's going to be really difficult to fit in a conversation there that this lovely cuddly lamb that she really likes, that we actually slice them and put them in front of her to eat. It is a conversation that I'm going to have with her, but I can imagine a lot of people don't have that conversation. And when I heard her talk about this in her TED Talks and read her book about this violent, dominant, invisible belief system, I couldn't help think that alcohol was exactly the same. So why is eating meat an invisible, violent, dominant ideology? Well, let me explain. Let's deal with the violent part of it first. We kill 1.2 billion animals a week so we can eat them. And we kill them in the most barbaric ways possible. And even before we kill them, especially in the factory farms called CAFOs, their living conditions are so inhumane, it is undescribable. And if you watch documentaries like Earthlings, for example, it literally will shake you to the core on an emotional level when you see how these animals are treated. So it's a very violent, eating meat is a very violent ideology. It's dominant because there are more people in the world who are eating meat than are not eating meat. And it's such a, when you don't eat meat, people look at you and go, why don't you eat meat? Like, you're a bit weird if you're a vegan. You're a bit weird if you're vegetarian. Nobody ever says, oh, you're a bit weird that you eat meat. That's because it's a dominant ideology. It's invisible because we never really question it. We don't see it. You don't see the slaughterhouses. You don't see these animals being killed. If anything, the absurdity of the advertising and the marketing, where you'll see a pig smiling with an apple in its mouth, like I saw outside a Mexican restaurant the other day, those absurd images allow you to walk through a meat market, see a pig's head, and not even think that it is an animal. It is meat. So the belief system is invisible. Now, if you think about alcoholism, it's the same thing. Alcoholism is an invisible ideology. It's an invisible belief system. Why? Well, when you were younger, I don't think that you did a cost-benefit analysis on whether or not you was going to drink alcohol. I would argue, if you lived in the Western culture, that you wanted to drink alcohol because it was cool and it was the in thing to do. And there was a certain sort of rites of passage into adulthood. You know, when we're all kids, we all want to fuck, we all want to drink, we all want to take drugs, we all want to go to a pub, we all want to drive a car, we want to do we want to have a cup of tea. We all want to do the things that adults do that we can't do. We can't wait to have that choice when we get older. Although by the time we get there, and we've thought about it so much, and the 4,000 to 10,000 adverts that bombard us every day on how alcohol is normal and pleasurable and tugging at our emotional senses, and all our parents drink and our grandparents drink and our parents give us bottles of wine to give to our teachers at summer break, and we leave a pint of a beer up for Santa Claus, and we hear that Jesus Christ turns wine into water, etc., etc., etc. Okay, it is really difficult to then say by the time you turn it 14, 15, 16 that you're making a choice to drink. Of course you're not making a choice to drink. You've been programmed from birth to drink. And if you walk into an off license in the UK and you go to pay for whatever your cucumber or whatever you're buying, and you look up behind the person who's brain dead in front of you, kind of waiting for his shift to end, on the left-hand side, you'll see all these cigarettes, but you won't really see the cigarettes because it's illegal to advertise cigarettes. So there'll be a banner covering the cigarettes, and you have to ask them to lift the banner up so you can pick which cigarettes you want. But right next to it on the right-hand side will be bottles and bottles of gin, whiskey, vodka, you name it, right in front of you. So if you're there with your child can quite easily see, without you even saying anything to them, oh, alcohol must be bad or something wrong with, cigarettes must be bad or something because they're hiding them. But alcohol, that must be okay because anybody can just see it and buy it. That is believe it or not, why the belief system is invisible. We can't see it. And it's why when you give up drinking alcohol, People think you're weird. People think you're strange. It's why when you choose to give up alcohol, you want it or you're thinking about it, you're shit scared to do it because you're thinking to yourself, how can I fit in society when everybody around me drinks? They're going to think I'm weird. Why do they think you're weird? Because they don't understand that alcoholism is a violent, dominant, invisible belief system. Hence why it's invisible. Because everybody thinks, right now, it's absolutely boiling outside. Boiling. So I've got all the windows and doors open. So if there's a noise, I apologize, but I cannot bake to death in here doing this podcast as much as I love you. And I guarantee you right now, there is loads of people out there drinking alcohol for no other reason that it's boiling. And their triggers in their minds and their associations, their memories are saying, oh, it's hot. Wouldn't it be great to sit outside and drink loads of beer right now? Okay? And that's, nobody is sat there thinking, why? Why am I choosing to sit in the sun and drink this powerful poison, which is going to ruin my night, make me feel shit, probably going to get into an argument afterwards, I'm probably not going to remember what I'm doing. Why? Because it's an invisible belief system. Why is it a violent belief system? It's a violent belief system because 2.5 million people a year die through alcohol-related illnesses or diseases. 2.5 million. And if you turn on the news right now, you will not see too many adverts or too many newscast stories banging on about 2.5 million people dying of alcohol-related diseases. But you will see news when somebody jumps in a van, drives and mows down 10 people and starts saying victory to Allah or whatever. Because terrorism is news. Serial killers is news. Homicide is news. War is news. But killing 2.5 million people a year is not news. Why? Because the belief system is invisible. And get this, 5 times as many people die through alcoholism a year than wars and homicide combined, including terrorism. So all the news we see about all these people dying in Syria and terrorism attacks and all these other tragic things and fucked up serial killers, as bad as it is, it's only killing about 400,000 people a year or something. It's like, it's nowhere near the 2.5 million that are dying through alcohol-related illnesses. I got my information from the World Health Organization, if you're wondering where I got those figures from. And it's a dominant belief system because, and again, this comes from the World Health Organization, is 55% of the universe has tried alcohol at one point or another. And I should imagine of that 55%, a high percentage of them continue to drink after that first drink. If you were raised in the Western culture, particularly the UK, where I was brought up, it's pretty inconceivable that anyone around you doesn't drink. It is very, very rare. It's as rare as seeing a vegan in your community than seeing like someone who doesn't drink alcohol. It's very rare. So it's, you know, the macro view of 55%. When you drill it down like at the micro level, it's way, way higher than that, especially for people listening to this podcast. You know, 3,000 people in Oakmont Vale, where I grew up, we all drank alcohol. Are you saying that we all had a brain disease? No. We are all exposed to the same invisible, violent, dominant belief system. So that is how I got the link. I'm reading Melanie Joy's book about carnism, and I'm thinking, holy shit, alcoholism is exactly the same. Now, I don't want to go on for the next 50 years of my life robbing Melanie Joy's hard work and dedication and research and her ideas, but I'm going to because it's the same. I can't dress it up any other way. All I can do is just give Melanie credit for sparking this thought in my mind. I can't hide it. They're just so alike. But I couldn't find the word. If she had created carnism, I was like, wow, carnism, that's cool. I need that word. And this was several years ago. And it wasn't until Laura Silverman said that needy help is a pile of pants that I then said to myself, I need this word because this is speaking to me now. Melanie Joy appeared on the Rich Roll podcast recently, and I listened to it and it sparked it again. And then I thought, holy shit, it's been staring me in the face all this time. The word is alcoholism. Alcohol, as we know, is a potent poison that we drink, or a beverage that we drink. And an ism is a suffix that determines an ideology, a belief system. So alcoholism is a belief system about alcohol, a belief system that states that drinking alcohol is both pleasurable and normal. And it's that belief system that proliferates itself throughout the entire Western culture that says this is one of the greatest things in the world. Multiplied by all the mentors, your parents, and especially marketing, advertising, and the media. If you look at an alcohol advert, and I implore you to do that tonight, to do some research, you'll rarely see any alcohol in the advert. Why? They don't want to sell a poison. They want to sell a lifestyle. They want to sell a belief system. They want to sell emotion. So they will often picture very beautiful men and beautiful women having great time, or having love, or dealing with really important social issues. And then you're kind of dragged into this lie that alcohol somehow has something to do with all of this. And it's a lie propagated by the belief system. So I suddenly realized that alcoholism is the word I was looking for. And what do I want to do in my life? Well, I want to expose the truth, because nobody can see this belief system. So that's where the word, the truth about alcohol, came from. So the needy helper is dead. We loved it, but it's dead. Bye-bye, needy helper. Slowly and surely over time, you will see the needy helper phase out to be replaced by the truth about alcohol. I think the Alcohol Addiction podcast will keep that title, the name up there. I do like talking about other things other than alcohol in this podcast. So, and I know you do as well. You like listening to it, so we'll keep that there. But yeah, the website, the needyhelper.com website will go. We will just move straight over to Kajabi. So I don't know what it'll be called now, but it might be something called the truth about alcohol.mykajabi.com or something. And all the blog posts, all the podcasts, all the talk in the community forum over there will be about the truth about alcohol. And we want to be doing three things, right? We want to be revealing the truth behind this invisible, dominant, and violent ideology. We want to be exposing the truth behind alcoholism. That's what we want to be doing. I'm going to be doing that through these podcasts like this. I'm going to be doing it through my blog posts. I'm going to be doing it through my community forum, one-on-one coaching, webinars, training courses, books, whatever I need to do. This is my megaphone right now, right? I want to get the truth out there. What am I doing when I get the truth out there? I'm raising awareness, right? Truth, awareness. How else am I going to raise awareness? Well, I'm going to help people like you also quit alcohol, so you can then be a fantastic role model out there. And when people ask you why you look so good, why you always seem to be happy, why you got your shit in order, why you don't drink, you can say, well, let me tell you about the truth about alcohol. That is raising awareness. That is how we are going to turn this 55% of people who drink alcohol, we get that lower than 50%. That's what we're going to do. This community is going to do in the world, is we're going to nip away until I die that figure and I can't change the world. Like Seth Godin made me realize on the marketing seminar course, I can't change 7.3 billion people. I can't change people's worldviews. If you don't believe that if you believe alcohol is a brain disease, it's going to be very difficult for me to change your worldview. I am here to serve people who share the same beliefs as I do. That's it. So if you listen to me talking like you just have for the last 20 minutes about the truth behind alcohol, and you're like, holy shit, I think Lee's got a point, then me and you are going to be best mates. But if you listen to that and thought, holy shit, this guy's full of shit, then you need to check out Soberistas, Alcoholics Anonymous, or Hell Sunday Morning, so they can give you the support you need, because you're not going to get it here. Okay? That's why it's really important to raise that awareness. Now, to fill the trifecta, to truth awareness, it was going to be truth awareness choice. I was going to expose people to the truth of the belief system of alcohol. I was going to raise awareness of it so people can then make a conscious choice whether to drink or not. Because like I said before, I don't think people ever did make that conscious choice. But since doing more work on the Seth Godin marketing seminar, that last word of choice is going to change to freedom. I don't want to give people a choice. I don't want to work with people who want to moderate. I don't want to work with people who want to cut down. It goes against my belief system. I can't help someone reduce drinking a powerful poison. It doesn't make sense to me on my mission anymore. So it needs to be, choice needs to be taken out of this. It needs to be truth, awareness, and freedom. Truth, we expose to truth. Awareness, we raise awareness. Freedom, we help you quit alcohol so you can be free of it. Okay? You can be free of the nightmare that drinking alcohol is. And it is a fucking nightmare, because if it wasn't a nightmare, you wouldn't be on this podcast listening to me waffle on about it. You simply would have said to you simply would have woke up one morning and said, you know what, I'm done with having hangovers. I'm never going to drink again. And that would be it. But ladies and gentlemen, as you well know, we can't do that because the belief system has made us addicted to this powerful poison. Okay. But it's not the addiction that we need to work on. It's the belief system we need to work on. We need to expose the truth, raise awareness of it, hack away at it, and create a new one. And that is what we're going to do at The Truth About Alcohol. Okay. So there you are. That is what's going to happen from now on in. Okay. And all of the conversation, all of the good work here, if you want to change, if you want to get on board this bus, if you want to stop drinking alcohol and you want to help me raise awareness and you want to celebrate your sobriety instead of hiding in a fucking corner, okay, scared to be who you really are, then get over to the Needy Helper Forum, okay? Get over there, start checking in every day, start receiving empathy and support, start supporting other people and giving them empathy, start asking for help and guidance, start offering help and guidance, and start notifying people when you get triggered to drink so we can help you figure out the cognitive biases that support those thought processes that are leading you to drink, okay? Get over to the community forum. I am still absolutely flabbergasted that there is a free forum there, free, of like-minded people who you can talk to and ask questions and help you quit alcohol. And nobody's over there. I don't get it. I don't get it because even though I don't want you to be anonymous, you can be anonymous. You can put any name or nobody even knows who you are. Just get over there. Help yourself. Stop trying to do this on your own. Somebody said to me on my Finding Meaning and Purpose training course, Eleni said on my Finding Meaning and Purpose training course today, I asked her, who are your allies? Who are the people who are going to help you overcome your problems in life? And she said to me, I haven't got any. I haven't got any who are going to help me. I'm going to have to do this alone. We don't do this alone. Frodo Baggins got the one ring and started walking to Mount Doom on his own. He thought he could do it on his own. And if anyone has seen The Lord of the Rings, you know he would never have done it on his own. But he didn't want any help. But he was so full of goodness, his mission and his message was so powerful that people gravitated towards him. People who were stronger than him, who were more experienced than him, who knew the way to Mount freaking Doom, who knew how to beat and slay the greatest villains, they accompanied him, and we ended up with the Fellowship of the Ring. You cannot do this on your own. Make it the Fellowship of Alcoholism, whatever the hell you want to call it. Get over to the forum, okay? So that's enough. If you've got any questions whatsoever on The Truth About Alcohol, leave them in the comment section below. And until next week, when I probably will do another solo round, we'll wait and see. I want to thank you for all your continued support since 2009 for the Needy Helper, whether you've told me you've been supporting me or you've been quietly supporting me. I really appreciate it. I love what I do, and I want to continue doing it. And I cannot do that without your support. So thanks for listening.